Today we are going to reveal strategies that wealthy people use to become even wealthier. Use these strategies to increase your income and become rich within a few years, so pay close attention. 2 years ago, when the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates, everyone knew inflation was coming. However, the Fed said we shouldn't worry because inflation was just a little over 2.4%. But if we look at what's happening, prices have increased dramatically since then. I'm not referring to asset prices like houses or stocks, but to consumer prices. Inflation in the United States has hit the highest rate since 2008 due to the pandemic economy recovery, and people are spending more than ever. Before we continue, I want to clarify that the examples in this video are based on the United States economy, as it is one of the most important, and basically the patterns repeat in other countries. The goal of these videos is not to provide a magic formula, but to teach the mindset you need to adopt in face of the situations that arise in your financial lives. While most people are hurt by inflation, some are profiting from it because every problem presents an opportunity. The question is there a way to profit even in tough times? The answer is simple: yes. Before we start revealing the strategies, make sure to give a like to help our video and have good results on YouTube so we can create better and better videos for you. Number 1. Debt. You probably have a very negative opinion about debt, but debt can actually be good. If $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, I'll have made a profit if I borrow $1 today and pay it back tomorrow. The average price of a house today is about $350,000, but 20 years ago it was less than half, about $150,000. Due to the decrease in the real value of the dollar each year, these same $150,000 from 20 years ago are now worth $350,000. As a result, when the Fed lowered interest rates and began buying corporate bonds, the main corporations in the world, including Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, and others, started borrowing all this money. Despite not needing the funds, Apple has a cash pile valued at over $1 trillion, yet it borrowed money. Why use your own money when you can invest it in the S&P 500 and get at least a 10% return and borrow money at only 1%? Even if you get a 5% return on the borrowed money by investing it in your operation, you're still making a profit of 4%. Plus, when you borrow money, you get all these tax benefits, meaning you'll save money on taxes. Number 2. Gold. What distinguishes gold is that it has always been the asset that preserves wealth, especially during times of crisis. Gold prices increase when the future seems uncertain. Due to the 2008 crisis, gold prices skyrocketed from around $600 to $11,000. In 2007, investors panicked and started buying gold immediately. The US dollar may lose value and eventually become worthless one day, but gold does not. While the US dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 100 years, gold has maintained its value since the dawn of civilization. In 2010, investors panicked once again and started aggressively buying gold, driving gold prices to a record $1,900. But since then, the economy has stabilized, and the gold bubble burst. When the economy appears to be improving, investors often do not buy gold, and instead invest in assets like stocks. As a result, gold prices often decrease during predictable and stable times. But in 2019, when the United States initiated a trade war with China, gold prices started rising again, and the pandemic worsened the situation. For the first time, gold prices surpassed $2,000. However, gold has a downside because it is a passive asset. It just sits there shining, while stocks or real estate generate income through rent. They are active assets that offer a service or product. Number 3. Holding real assets. What most people don't realize is that currency is a commodity in the market, and its price is determined by supply and demand, among other factors. Consider the following scenario. You have $10 in the economy on one side and 10 houses on the other. In this hypothetical scenario, a single house would cost $1. But if we inject another $10 into this market, there will be $20, but still 10 houses, which will cause house prices to rise, and a single house would cost $2. This is a simple way to understand inflation. In 2022, the Fed decided to inject trillions of dollars into the economy, distributing stimulus checks and buying corporate bonds. Therefore, at that time, everyone who could afford to acquire property invested in real estate instead of saving money, especially because interest rates were at their lowest point. No matter what the actual inflation rate is, whether it's 2.4% or 3.4%, because house prices increased by 15%, according to some estimates suggesting they increased between 18% and 20%. This means that real estate investors not only beat inflation, but also made huge profits. The smartest investors not only bought houses, but also acquired mortgages because leverage turns good deals into great deals, especially because interest rates were at their lowest point. Number 4. Cryptocurrencies. Although they are extremely risky, the technology is undeniably wonderful and has tremendous potential. However, as it is still in its early stages, it is extremely dangerous and unpredictable in the short term. As mentioned earlier, one of the reasons why Bitcoin has risen so much in the last year is that the Federal Reserve has been printing trillions of dollars, leading investors to think that Bitcoin is like digital gold. Many people who were not interested in Bitcoin before the pandemic do not remember that the price of a Bitcoin was around $8,000 before the trade war. The price of a Bitcoin was only $3,600. If you were interested in Bitcoin when most people didn't care, you could have made a huge fortune. However, people often get excited about anything when it's in all the news. However, experienced investors enter the market before the masses and have multiplied their fortune by over 20 times since then. I personally buy Bitcoin and think it's at good prices nowadays. But as it is a very volatile asset, I allocate a small portion of my capital, money with which I am willing to take a little more risk. Number 5. Stocks. This is my favorite option. Stock prices may not have increased thousands of percent like cryptocurrencies, but they are much more stable and less risky. The S&P 500 increased by 23% in 2023. That's an incredible return, especially considering that you are investing in the entire economy of the United States. When you buy a stock, you are buying a part of a business. That's why they are also called shares. When there is excess money in the economy, the value of that company increases, so you are growing along with inflation. Additionally, this money is often spent on basic needs and desires, which makes companies grow faster, allowing you to benefit as well. Imagine for a moment how much of those stimulus checks were spent on products from Amazon or Apple. If we consider the fact that these corporations have obtained billions of dollars in practically free loans and have grown immensely, and now people are returning to work. The economy is reopening and people are spending more. These companies are about to grow even faster. The goal is to have your money invested in assets that are protected and generating profit over time. Wealthy people usually don't have a lot of cash on hand. They usually keep a small portion for emergencies. If you look at the richest people in the world, they are so rich because they own a certain percentage of the companies they built. As their businesses grow, so does their wealth. If you like our videos and haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to repay us for bringing you 2 free videos every week. Comment if you have any video ideas for us. Thank you very much for watching so far and see you in the next one.